Remember the movie Godzilla, directed by Roland Emmerich?
Oh yes, of course. The one that came out in 1998?
Exactly. Imagine the studio was so afraid of leaking the monster's design that they didn't even conduct test screenings for the film.
Really? Test screenings could have helped fix some flaws in the movie.
Yes, the bosses at Sony admitted it was a big mistake. In the end, they had to conduct a record-breaking advertising campaign at that time due to the fear that the film would fail.
Another interesting fact about the actors' wetsuits comes to mind. They were given to everyone because of the large amount of water on the set.
Right. Matthew Broderick complained that his suit was terribly uncomfortable. It fastened from behind, making every trip to the bathroom a real challenge.
Yes. He complained to Hank Azaria, who then showed him that their suits were the same, and Azaria's fastened in the front.
Yes, and if Broderick could have sunk into the ground from embarrassment, he would have done it for sure.
Do you remember how the studio quickly identified those who leaked Godzilla's design?
Yes, it was one of the largest American clothing manufacturers, Fruit of the Loom. They leaked frames and art from the future film to the press.
The studio instantly determined that they were the ones behind the leak. All because the studio wanted to keep the monster's design a strict secret. To avoid leaks, they initially sent different Godzilla designs to all the companies. And Fruit of the Loom got exactly the one that was leaked.
Probably they had not a very pleasant day after that.
They were hit with a hefty fine and lost all their contracts with the studio.
Did you know that Godzilla himself is on screen for only 11 minutes? That's less than 8% of the movie's runtime.
No way! That's so little! Wasn't he supposed to be the star of the show?
Yes, he was. By the way, the Japanese company Toho sent a 75-page dossier with requirements regarding Godzilla's use. For example, they couldn't kill Godzilla, and eating people was strictly prohibited. But somehow, Sony managed to ignore almost all of these requirements.
Amazing how they pulled that off. The contract must have been very cleverly crafted.
And here's another interesting tidbit. Initially, Jan de Bont was appointed as the director, but due to disagreements, he left, and Roland Emmerich gained full control over the project.
Jan de Bont was a big fan of Japanese Godzilla, while Emmerich claimed he didn't like Japanese movies at all. He agreed to direct only when they allowed him to completely eliminate the spirit of Japanese Godzilla.
And, in the end, Roland Emmerich doesn't like this film and regrets agreeing to direct it.
What a twist! Even the director himself is not satisfied with his work.
One more interesting fact. The main role in Godzilla was specifically written for Matthew Broderick, and he agreed to act in the film without even reading the script.
Unbelievable! That's quite a trust in the actor. And did you know that Sony demanded 80% of the profit from theater chains when the standard at that time was 55–60%? It must have caused a real scandal.
Yes, exactly. Many small theaters even refused to screen the film because of that.
And remember Dean Devlin, the film's producer? He fought on internet forums, insulting anyone who spoke against the film, even blocking access to the official review board on the movie's website.
Seriously? Sounds like a real fan scandal. But in the end, he apologized for his behavior and admitted that the film was far from perfect.
He also took full responsibility for all the problems. He said he was so busy with budget distribution that he couldn't fully work on the script.
And do you remember that the original script envisaged a battle between Godzilla and an alien monster in the middle of New York? The estimated budget for the film exceeded $150 million sales. The studio refused to allocate it, and that's why Jan de Bont left. Emmerich agreed to cut the budget in exchange for full control over the film.
What a story! The production budget was $130 million, and the worldwide box office earnings were a whopping $379 million. In the end, the film turned out to be more successful than expected.
Yes, every film has its secrets and behind-the-scenes stories, and Godzilla is no exception.
But despite all the difficulties, Godzilla became a successful project, grossing almost $380 million worldwide.
Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your comments about what you think of the movie Godzilla. And of course, stay tuned, keep an eye out for new videos. Many more fascinating discussions await you. See you soon.